I'd had a gut full of the whole industry. I mean, it's a very strange place, Hollywood. It's an odd place. And you imagine all these horror stories there that you think, boy, it seems as if I'm being sacrificed over here. No, that couldn't be true. And then you realize that it is true.
But then off the rails you went. I mean, you started a film career and then you almost blew it at the very early stage.
Sure. I mean, it's...
What happened?
Well, when you're a young fella, and you're out there, and, you know, there's a lot of people who want to get around you, and they all got a bunch of interesting new games to play. And it's the devil knocking at your...
Mel Gibson is back, baby, and he isn't pulling any punches. After years of being blacklisted by Hollywood elites, he is now leading the charge against woke culture with his latest film, Sound of Freedom, and is stirring up a storm in Hollywood. He's ready to tell it all, and it's about damn time.
You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
But wait, there's more, because aside from this, another famous name was exposed in the middle of this scandal, and you'll be shocked once you find out who this person is. So what exactly has Mel Gibson said about this so-called woke culture? And why is it that whenever he talks about woke culture, things go crazy and people are left speechless? Well, stay tuned as we're diving into Mel Gibson's latest, and might I say explosive take on woke culture. But this time he's shaking up Hollywood a lot more than usual. So let's get straight into it. Known for his iconic roles in Mad Max and Braveheart, and winning an Oscar as a director, Mel Gibson is no stranger to controversy. He's always had this, let's call it an unfiltered way of saying things. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to admit he knows how to stir the pot. But this time it's not just his acting that's in the spotlight, it's his stance on woke culture. Surprised? Yeah, probably not. But here's the thing. Unlike a lot of celebrities, he's not tiptoeing around it. He's going straight in, swords drawn.
If you ask most people what their number one fear is, what do you think it is? Most people's number one fear is public humiliation, okay? I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm not afraid of it because I've had plenty. And now it's just time for me to say I'm tough because what does not...
Now, what exactly is woke culture? All right, let's break down this whole woke thing for a second. For those who might not know, woke culture didn't start off as the parasite it is today. It started as a movement for social justice, staying informed and challenging outdated systems. Pretty noble, right? But the problem began when somewhere along the way, it took a wrong turn, becoming something much more controlling, and it became an extreme competition of who could be the most morally correct. Today, it's no longer about equality or fairness, but rather about forcing a specific ideology and expelling anyone who dares step out of line. And guess what? Hollywood cancels anyone who doesn't subscribe to every woke idea faster than a TV show with bad ratings. But Gibson was having none of it. He's been in showbiz for a long time and has seen how Hollywood has transformed. According to him, woke culture has evolved into something that destroys creativity, silences opposing views, and says, I've had enough.
When I came over here, I was in my mid-20s.
Right.
The first time I really came over here. You know, I had a whole bunch of weird paranoid suspicions about what the hell was going on because there was a lot of stuff I couldn't understand.
Right.
To him, political correctness is what's slowly suffocating creativity that made Hollywood what it is today. Think about it. If every joke, every movie line, and every opinion is a potential landmine, who's going to want to be creative? Hollywood, the land of imagination, feels more like a minefield these days. In a 6-year-old interview with John Lithgow, Gibson already predicted Hollywood's woke culture, saying,
Never seen Hollywood quite so shaken by any. It's a little late, so we'll see how it all shakes down. Hopefully it clears the air a little bit.
and compares Hollywood to a group of priests who punish and exile anyone who doesn't conform to their beliefs.
How's that? Yep. Who are they? Well, they're a pack of men who generally passively sit by and tolerate any kind of nonsense. But if one of their priests utters something that resembles orthodoxy, well, then they spring into action, they reprimand him, and they bully him and do their best to cancel him. And it succeeds. They drum him out of the service, you know. Off he goes. And it's nothing new. It really isn't. It's nothing new. And it's a symptom. It's a symptom of a very deep sickness that afflicts the church. It did not happen overnight.
Well, know how it goes. You say one thing that doesn't perfectly align with the woke rulebook, and just like that, you're canceled. And Mel's been through it firsthand. He knows how Hollywood loves to put you on a high, only to tear you down the second you go off script.
I mean, obviously, it's pretty much based on money, the system here.
It is.
Yeah.
The system is completely based on money.
Yeah.
The studio system.
Yeah.
To a degree, I think the way I hook into the system is based on it.
Let's be honest. When was the last time you watched a movie that wasn't force-feeding you some woke agenda? It's no wonder Mel sees this as a direct attack on the heart of cinema. And that's exactly why Hollywood did not want his latest movie to be aired on any streaming platform. Now, what happens when a filmmaker puts storytelling first? Sound of Freedom does just that. It never cared about the woke playbook and completely ripped it apart.
Most disturbing problems in our world today is human trafficking, and particularly the trafficking of children. Now, the first step in eradicating this crime...
Sound of Freedom, directed by Alejandro Monteverde, dives deep into the dark side of illegal human trafficking and reveals the shocking methods used by the elite to lure innocent victims into their inhumane plans. Just like the title suggests, it has a very strong message as it aims to increase awareness about the issue of illegal child trafficking and how children are still in great danger. But what's even more interesting is the lack of publicity, advertising, and buzz surrounding this film. Well, most of you might not have even heard of this movie, and you may be wondering, how can a movie promoted by Mel Gibson about such a serious issue get such little media attention? It seems like the message of the movie has alerted some powerful people, and these elites don't want people to know the fishy stuff they do. Since this movie is precisely going over the dark truth in the industry, influential people are pulling the strings to stop it from reaching a wider audience. Honestly, the lack of media attention is sickening and concerning at the same time, considering how these are the same people who talk about bringing justice to those who are treated unfairly. Instead of backing a film that tackles a very dark topic, Hollywood chose to try and get rid of it because, let's face it, Sound of Freedom isn't the kind of story Hollywood will ever cover.
That's how this town has been running for so long. They'll mute you.
It's too difficult for the woke crowd to digest and hits too close to home for some of the so-called elites.
Sound of Freedom is smashing it at the box office and is being attacked continually by the mainstream. Is that because it's a box office success? Is it because of QAnon conspiracy theories? Is it because it's a new emergent business model? Or does the establishment have something?
And that's exactly why Mel Gibson got behind it. He knows the importance of telling the stories that matter, even if it doesn't fit into the glossy, clean movie category, and that makes Hollywood scared. There have also been accusations that the likes of Disney, Netflix, and Amazon Prime avoided obtaining the rights to the film on purpose to allegedly prevent the truth about child trafficking from reaching global viewers. And why wouldn't they? Sound of Freedom represents a direct challenge to Hollywood's woke agenda, and none other than Mel is perfect for leading the charge. You see, these Hollywood big shots who have great influence have always been shown to have a heart of gold. But what if their true intentions were far more terrifying than we could have ever imagined? Mel Gibson did try to speak up about it years ago, but Hollywood, being Hollywood, wouldn't let that slide. And that's when they started blacklisting him.
And I formed a bunch of opinions about the town and about the people in it that were like, surely that, and then you go away and you think, no, I was wrong. I mean, that's insane thinking. I'm paranoid. I imagined that stuff. That couldn't be the reason for why so-and-so was acting like, could it? And then you find out later on the track that you were exactly on track with a lot of this stuff. Not specifically on track, but that you could, that some of your worst nightmares were real at the time.
Hollywood has always been filled with people who are hypocrites. Take Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, for example. When he was accused of being involved in a child kidnapping conspiracy, Hollywood didn't think of it as a big deal, and there wasn't a big scene for it. Now imagine if it was Mel instead of The Rock. Hollywood would have a field day trying to cancel him as soon as possible, and they would love it. The industry is full of double standards, and Mel Gibson is exposing them for everyone to see. When one of their own gets into trouble, Hollywood protects them. But when someone like Mel does something out of the ordinary, they're quick to shut him up. As Hollywood continues to push its woke agenda, Mel keeps pushing back, and other actors stand beside him too.
Actually, I asked Mel to present this award to me for a reason, because when I couldn't get sober, he told me not to give up hope, and he urged me to find my faith. It didn't have to be his or anyone else's as long as it was rooted in forgiveness.
Now there are two kinds of elites, and one of them is called the Good Club. This exclusive club is made of billionaires who regularly hold meetings to discuss matters they deem important, and it features some big-shot names like Bill Gates and Oprah Winfrey. But you'll be shocked to know what Mel Gibson has revealed about Oprah and other elites of Hollywood. Oprah Winfrey, of all people, is known as an icon, billionaire, and philanthropist. But did you know there's a side to Oprah she'd rather keep behind closed doors? While Mel, in the movie, never really named Oprah, the talk show host's connection with people like Harvey Weinstein cannot be ignored, and The Sound of Freedom mirrors it. We all know that Harvey Weinstein never really had the best reputation when it comes to his work ethic and how he treated young kids, with multiple cases of rape and sexual assault. But here's a twist for you. Despite all the cases against him, Oprah Winfrey never condemned him and remained good friends with him, which is one of many red flags about her. On top of all this, there have also been multiple reports suggesting that Oprah would even encourage other actors to work with Harvey, which led to accusations that she was part of Harvey's unethical behavior when it came to his co-workers. How about that? Oprah Winfrey, the self-proclaimed champion of women's empowerment and a supporter of the #MeToo movement, has a close relationship with people who go against everything she stands for, and she has never once spoken up about it. But that wasn't even the end of it. Oprah also invited John of God to her talk show, and her viewers were shocked and disgusted as he's also someone who's been charged with multiple cases of harassment and rape and, as a result, was sentenced to 99 years in prison. Some would argue that Oprah represents everything that's wrong with Hollywood, as she shows exactly what double stands are with her relationship with people like Harvey Weinstein and John of God. And just like what Oprah is doing, people on top of the elite ladder are trying their best to stop the truth from coming out. And they do this by making sure movies like Sound of Freedom never get the attention they deserve. Now you understand why Mel Gibson will never back down from his take on woke culture. He's seen Hollywood's dark side and he's not afraid to speak up. He's been through scandals and blacklisting, but he's come out stronger than ever with a new sense of purpose. Because if Hollywood hates you, you know you're doing something right. For Mel, this isn't just about getting rid of woke culture. It's about saving Hollywood's soul. He's frustrated that the industry that prides itself on being the voice of social justice turns a blind eye when it's convenient for them. Hollywood is furious with Sound of Freedom as it exposes a real-world issue that the woke culture just can't seem to truly understand. But if there's one certain thing, it's that we can expect Mel Gibson to keep going against woke culture, and we're here for it.
It does feel different. I think because, I don't know, I think just because I've been around longer, it's different.
Yeah.
I'm more relaxed about the whole thing, because there's no point in being anything else.
Yeah,
right?
true.
So, I'm not going to get all wound up about it. I'm going to just try and observe.
So what do you think about Mel Gibson's take on woke culture? And how do you feel about all the things he's exposed about the industry we hold dear to our hearts? Leave your answers in the comments section below. And don't forget to like this video and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.